If you have seen my 10 ingredient food challenge video, then you will know that I absolutely love pushing the boundaries of my food budget to its absolute limit. I like to take each ingredient and stretch it as much as I possibly can while still making delicious, easy dinners that we can all enjoy as a family. The overall aim of doing these kinds of challenges is that, one, I'm going to be able to reduce my budget for food quite significantly. It means I'm planning ahead, so I'm able to organise myself and know exactly what's coming up. And it means I can do quite a bit of batch cooking as well, so I can get things ready and don't have to worry about it during the week when it's busy and chaotic with the kids and school and just life in general. So today I wanted to challenge myself to see if I could recreate something similar to what I did a few years ago. So one of my videos, which seems to be quite popular, is 56 meals for £40. So I wanted to see if I can still create 56 meals effectively for £40 and hopefully less. So the idea of this will be that I will be planning and hopefully prepping 14 meals for the next 2 weeks ahead. Each meal will serve 4, and 14 times by 4 is the 56. Now, I'm mindful that on the last video, people were saying, no, there's too much pasta, too much rice. Most of those are staples. Those are the way to keep your ingredient costs down. But I have made a bit of a plan this time to mix it up a little bit. We're going to go still for family-friendly, filling meals, but let's see what else we can do to push the boat out. So today's video, we're going to go shopping. Then we're going to come back, have a look at the ingredients that I have got, talk about them, and then we're going to plan 14 days worth of meals together. And over the next few weeks, I'll be making some of these and they'll be uploaded onto my TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. So you'll be able to join in and watch me make them in real time as well. But for today, we're just going to plan them and prep them. And I'll show you all the ingredients and show you the breakdown costs and show you just how easy it is to do if you spend a little bit of time, a little bit of patience, and make the most of your planning session. We can hopefully together get those costs of ingredients down. We're going to switch it up today. I'm going to go to Asda. Typically, I tend to go to Tesco's, not for any reason other than it's the nearest one to me. But yeah, you guys will always tell me how good Asda is. So I'm going to go over to there and see what we can grab. Let's go. Right. So I'm actually pleasantly surprised with everything that I managed to get. When I looked on the app for Asda, normally they have like offers on, so much money off things. For whatever reason, that wasn't coming up on my app today. So everything I paid is the price that it was. There was no, if you buy this, you get something off with using the app. That didn't happen today. So we're going to go through. I'll tell you how much I spent in total. And then we're going to talk about the meals that we are going to be able to make. You may have already spotted, I did get a bag of the pasta. But look at the size of this. This is why you should always buy the biggest bag of pasta you possibly can. Because even on those weeks, those days when you are absolutely stone broke, pasta is the go-to. You know, you can buy a smaller bag. Small bag was 75 pence, I believe. This one, which is 3 kilograms, came in at £3.61 for a 3 kilogram bag. I think there was a different type of pasta you could have got, but we like this one. And do you know, there's absolutely nothing wrong with it. And when you are on a mission to try and save money, it should be one of the basics that you go to as the simple, cheaper ingredients. Use those to bulk out other, more fun foods that you might like. And you still get to enjoy them, but it just makes things go a little bit further. And, you know, everyone loves pasta. All the kids that go for it, whatever, you know. It's always a winner in our house anyway. So pasta is the first big buy. Next thing I got were some wraps. These are just plain wraps. They have their own ones. These ones are priced at £1.18. There are 8 in there. I feel like I might have had a cheaper version of it, but I quite like this reseal one because I sometimes find that with wraps, they can go hard really, really quickly if they're not stored properly. So I always think it's worth spending a little bit more for them to last a little bit longer. Next, I got a bag of the white potatoes, £1.32. I also picked my own sweet potatoes. These were actually cheaper to pick your own than it was to get the value branded sweet potatoes. So 70 pence is what I spent on those. next up, I got some mince. Now, I've gone with the intention of getting minced beef. The other thing that I really love about Asda, and I don't know if anywhere else does this because I don't tend to shop in many places, is that they do this one now, which is a mix of beef and pork. In fact, they've done it for a long time. And because it's mixed beef and pork, it's significantly less than just getting just beef by itself. Now, depending on what you're using it for, you would not necessarily know that you've got beef and pork mix. This is great for things like lasagnas, bolognese, pasta bakes, for meatballs even. And it just adds a little bit of juiciness as well. It keeps it a lot more moist when you're cooking it. And it just massively brings the price down. So for this, I actually paid £4.38 for this, and it measures 750 grams. As a comparison, I did also get 2 of the minced beef ones because these were on a better deal as well. It's cheaper to buy these than it was to buy the 750 gram one of this. So anyway, always worth checking the labels. This came in at £3.32. So we've got 2 just beef and 1 of the mixed beef and pork. Then I got some diced chicken breast. Purposely got this one because it was cheaper than the thighs that I was looking at. I do prefer chicken breast, so if you can afford it and that's your preference, then go for it. Otherwise, chicken thighs could be a great cheaper alternative for you. That chicken came in at £4.44. Got the Cathedral City, which was on an offer. Again, always seems to be on offer. It's £3.94 I paid for that. Then I got 2 packs of the puff pastry, and these were £1 each. Anybody with quick maths seeing how much I just spent? This was in a set of 4. I managed to break the packet before. 4 tins of the tomatoes, and these came in at £1.68 for the chopped tin tomatoes. Then I decided to get a fresh basil pot. I actually wanted just a packet of basil, didn't have it. So I got a pot, which just means that it's going to last longer. Maybe hopefully use it in a few more weeks, as long as, I keep it alive. Usually what I don't do is keep these things alive. But this one came in at £1.08. I think the pack itself was about half the price of that, so that would have been nicer. I also got some tomato puree, which was 62p. Always a good staple to have in. I had any in for a while, don't know why. Bag of brown onions, 99p. Bag of carrots, I might have opened them on the way home and had a little bit of a nibble. And these were 69p. Cheaper than going to the drive-thru. I got a pack of salad tomatoes, and these came in at 99p. I got a bag of mixed peppers for £1.87. I was lucky. I don't like the green and yellow one typically. So I found one with an orange one. So hopefully all will do well with those. And I got a box of pistachio as well, and this was 52p. The grand total I spent was £37.23. So let's have a look at what foods we're going to make with these. So this is going to be my weekly meal plan. I've got 2 copies here because I'm going to do it over the 2 weeks. But I put down all my ingredients. Now, just as a full disclaimer, I haven't included things like my oil, my stock cubes, or any other random bits that I might have in my cupboard, because you can switch those out depending on what you've got. So, if you've got a sprinkling of herbs or a bit of garlic and you want to throw them in, you can add or take them away as fits. Essentially, we're still going to get all these meals down from this. Now, on reflection, I think I would actually buy another pack of the wraps, but even if I added another pack, it's still coming in under that £40 because they were priced at £1.18 they were. So I'm going to double this up just because I had another thought about that. And yeah, we're still under that amount. But actually, if I buy them in a week's time, then they're going to be, fresher anyway. So don't worry about the breakfast and lunches there. Some of these actually might make enough to be carried over for a lunch, but we're just focusing on the evening meals for now. So first up, we're going to make mince pies. These are going to be made from, some of the minced beef, because we've got quite a lot of that. Some of the onion, the tomato, tin tomatoes, a little bit maybe, and any herbs that you want to put in there if you've got any. Then we're just going to wrap them in a puff pastry parcel. put them in the oven, bake them until they're golden. If you want to do a bit of an egg wash over the top or put a little bit of butter over the top, you can do. Don't have to. They'll still taste delicious. They taste amazing, and they're like little hand pies. They're ideal if you're a light lunch. If you've got something to go with them, you can make something, maybe some wedges or something to go with them from the potatoes, or if you've got salad left over, you could use them with that. Next up, we're going to do a mince and potato stew. So that's one of those that can really stretch depending on how much you put in there. So you can choose your minced beef or your pork, whichever you'd rather. And then you're going to put in some of the onions, the carrots, the potatoes, some tinned tomatoes, stock cube. And it's a proper hearty dinner. It's a kind of meal that stretches far, but it feels really comforting. And the more you bulk that out, if you've got, lentils and you want to put them in, you can stretch out a bit further. If you've got other vegetables that you thought, I've got nothing to do with them, put them in there, because that can honestly stretch. It can certainly, if you do it right, that can last a couple of days as well. That can go into another day. So it's just a thought for you. Next up, we're going to do a chicken tray bake with vegetables and potatoes. So that is quite simply going to be, with the chicken, some carrots, some onions, the potatoes going in there. They can all go into one tray, put in some mixed herbs if you want to, if you've got any. Nothing fancy, it's cheap, it's easy, and it tastes incredible as well. Next up, we're going to do some loaded potato wedges. I always think, my daughter laughs at me because I do these potato wedges so often. It's much cheaper than buying frozen chips. It tastes so much better, and it's healthier as well, I think. And honestly, it doesn't matter what potatoes you've got. You can use the cheapest potato. These are great. Just a little bit of spray oil on them. Fantastic. You're going to roast the wedges, top it with mince. If you want to, top it with some cheese as well. And that would be great with the pork and beef, just to give it a little bit of extra flavour in there. If you want to add in a stock cube just to make it a little bit more exciting, you can do, but you don't need to. It's a really nice, tasty one. This is takeaway vibes, but for a fraction of the price. Next, we're going to do I should use one of the puff pastry then by the time we've done this and this one. And these are literally going to be whatever you want them to be. So you're going to put a little bit of tomato puree down if you want to, kind of making like kind of pizza if you like. You don't have to. You're going to add some of the cheese, some seasoning. You could put on some of the peppers, some of the onions if you like. If you've got some frozen veg in the freezer, throw them on. Make them whatever you like them to be. But they're so handy. These are perfect when you've had enough of the meat and you want something flaky, cheesy, golden. Then we're going to have a bit of a fake away night. So we're going to do a cheesy quesadillas. So these are your wraps with the cheese and a tomato base, and you're just going to toast them until they're nice and crispy. They're really quick, really easy, and they're honestly a guaranteed crowd pleaser. Then we're going to go in with some of the chicken enchiladas. So that's, again, it's the wraps. It's going to be filled with some of the cooked chicken, some of the tomato sauce, topped with some cheese, oven baked. They are big, they're gooey, and they're honestly so satisfying. So that will definitely take care of using up one of those packs of the wraps there as well. And again, you can serve it with something on the side. If you want to put some pasta with it, because we've got a big bag of pasta we've not even touched just yet, you could go ahead and do that.
Thanks.
Next, we're going to do a homemade pizza wrap night. I love doing these. My kids love doing these. So this can, again, be whatever you want it to be. You can top it with the tomato puree and top with the cheese, bits of leftover the mince or any of the veg that you've got in there. If you've got some, sliced meats in the fridge that you want to put on there, you can get those in. Everyone builds their own, and it's a proper family fun meal. That was one of the reasons why I wanted to get another pack of the wraps, because this is definitely a family favourite. It's so easy and cheap to do as well. Then we're going to go in with a cheesy pasta bake. But this can be, again, whatever you want it to be. The pasta, some tomato sauce, tinned tomatoes, some cheese. And again, if you want to throw in any leftover veg or mince, you can do. Just keep it cheesy pasta bake. You don't have to make it too difficult if you don't want to. Make it as simple as possible if you like. Then we're going to have a chicken fried rice. And you're going to use some of that chicken that's left. It was probably getting towards the end of using the rest of it up now. And then whatever you've got in your cupboard, although I didn't write it, I've just realised I didn't write it on my list, but you can get that for 50p, so still under that £40. You can put in some frozen veg. If you've got any garlic, if you've got any soy in your cupboard, whatever you want that to be, you can just mix it up. It's a bit of a mishmash of everything. It's just whatever you like, and it uses up all the stuff that was coming to an end, really. It's a bit of a fake away night, so with pennies, and it's one of my favourite throw it together kind of dinners. It takes minutes to do. Then we've got some warmers for the week. So we've got minced burritos. So that rice, which I mentioned before, we could put some into there with some of the minced beef or the mixed beef and pork, and then add in some tomato sauce, and it's another proper filling dinner. 1 pan of mince honestly goes such a long way, and that is our wraps all used up there. So we made most of those wraps. Then I'm going to go in with a veg curry. And then it's just going to be a case of whatever veggies you've got left over. If you've got frozen veg, throw them in. A tomato base, a bit of curry powder that you've got in your cupboard. Or even if you don't like curry, just have it, as like a tomato-based kind of stew almost. And then just throw it with your potatoes. It's all about using what's left and then making it feel fresh again. That tomatoes will properly liven it up. Then we're going to use some more of that puff pastry. We're on to our second roll now. We're going to have a puff pastry pie, but this time making a full-size one, using up the rest of your minced beef, rest of your veg filling as well, and then a puff pastry top. It feels like a proper Sunday dinner, but honestly, it costs about £4 to feed everyone. Then we're going to have a tomato, pepper, and basil soup with some pastry dippers, fresh and tinned tomatoes blended into a soup. Roast those peppers off. They taste so much better when you roast them. Get them on nice and squidgy, and then make some pastry strips. Bake them, crisp them, so they're really nice to dip into as well. It's so light, but it's comforting, and it is a great way to finish off the week. I've done them in this order. You can have them any order you want to. You might think, oh, I don't want minced beef twice in a row, or I don't want 2 lots of rice, or whatever it is, or quesadillas, enchiladas, but you might not want 2 like wrap nights. So you might 3, in fact. You might want to split them up. It doesn't have to be in this order. But there we go. We have got our total of 56 meals, because this is going to serve 4 for each recipe. We'll make 4. So yeah, I think there's some really great ideas in there. Not too heavy on the rice and the pastas this week. So hopefully there's something in there that you can use. So there you have it. 14 meals that can serve 4 people, planned, ready to go. You can use some of them. You can switch some of them up for different ingredients that you don't like, but at least you've got something ready to start with, something that hopefully will help to reduce your grocery bill even just a tiny little bit. If you've enjoyed this video, I would absolutely love it if you would give it a thumbs up, a like, and maybe consider subscribing so I can continue to make videos just like this one for you for absolutely free. Have yourself an amazing day, and I'll see you really soon. Bye.